I have my coffee, I have my unbearable allergies. Let's roll. Hey everyone, it's Amy and welcome back to my channel and to my little bedroom in my parents' house. Those of you who have been subscribed for the long haul will recognize this space. This is the bedroom that I grew up in. This is where I lived prior to moving to the Middle East, and I am back. Firstly, I want to say a huge thank you to all of you who sent me good luck messages and positive vibes about my move back to the UK. I made it safe and sound. I am now in quarantine, as if I haven't been stuck indoors for long enough. I've also had a lot of you guys reaching out with questions about what my plans are for right now, and I know you're really curious about what I intend on doing. You and me both, friends. You and me both. I had plans before the world descended into chaos, but now I'm kind of just taking each day as it comes. I'm going to be here for as long as I'm here, and then I'll be somewhere else. That's about as much information as I have right now. When I know anything else, I will keep you updated. So, today's video is going to be another no buy year update. I apologize that I'm going to be sniffly and sneezy and disgusting, but I forgot that there are like plants here and I'm allergic to those. I didn't have this problem in Bahrain, but I am powering through and I am here to give you a really comprehensive update this month. I want to go through my successes and struggles as per usual, my monthly breakdown of everything I spent, and I also want to share with you my 6-month savings because we're midway through the year, or a little bit more than midway through the year now, but I want to share how much I saved in the first 6 months of doing this no buy update, no buy year. I've taken a lot of antihistamines, okay? I'm not completely with it. So let's start by talking about my struggles and my successes for the month of June. Let's start with the struggles because the struggles were real. The big struggle for June was overspending. Technically, I still did come in under budget by a hair's breadth, but I was uncharacteristically loosey-goosey with my money throughout the month of June. Part of it I feel at peace with and feel that it's kind of justified because it was my last month in Bahrain, and even though we were in a kind of half lockdown situation, Abida and I were trying to find fun things that we could do, places we could visit that was obviously going to be socially distanced and safe, but that would be a chance to make some last memories. So I don't regret spending the money on that at all. That's the kind of thing that I am all for spending my money on. But on the other hand, I do regret spending so much money on takeaway food and having coffee delivered to my house. I think lockdown just made me lazy. Again, it was my last month. I didn't want to do a bunch of grocery shopping. I'm trying to justify it. I can't justify it. It was just lazy. My success story for the month will be familiar to any of you who follow along with my empties videos. In my most recent empties video that I will link down below, I went through and calculated the value of the beauty and cosmetics products that I've used up so far this year. So this is stuff that I already had in my drawers, in my cupboards, in my makeup bag, and I used all this stuff up. I kept track of the value of everything I used up so far this year, and that grand total came to £798. Honestly, I don't really know if that counts as a success. On the one hand, it feels really good to know that I'm finally getting use out of those products, finally going through my hoard of beauty supplies and like getting stuff used and moving on. But on the other hand, the fact that I had £798 worth of products just lying around the apartment is eye-opening and kind of unsettling. Next, we're going to take a look at what I've spent my money on this month. I know I spent a lot. Where did it all go? If you guys are new and you don't know the setup here, I keep track of my money in Bahraini dinar because that is where I was living up to a few days ago, and my monthly budget is 250 Bahraini dinar. So my biggest expense of the month was going away with my friend Abida for a night to the Sofitel in Bahrain. We made a whole vlog about it, I'll link it down below, but it's an ultra fancy, ultra luxury hotel, but because of the lack of tourism right now, they had on a really good deal which made it affordable for us peasants. So we went there. All together I spent 53 BD, which is really good. That included my dinner, my breakfast, my stay at the hotel, and some cocktails. I spent 37.4 BD on takeaways. Cody probably spent twice as much as I did. So all together we probably spent like 100 BD that month on takeaways between the two of us. When I say that out loud, I want to cry and then crawl into a hole of shame because that's disgusting. I had several beach days in June where I went to various different private beaches, which some were a little bit pricey, and that came to 33 BD 500 all together for the various days out that I had. I also got my hair cut in June, which cost 31.5 BD, which is the most expensive haircut I have ever had in my life. I spent 24 BD on cocktails, and I do not regret that. It's been so long since I've had a cocktail, and so what can I say? I had like 5. I spent 23.7 BD on groceries for the month, which really just goes to show that I was not cooking at all this month. I spent the equivalent of 9 BD on like a YouTube plugin that I decided to subscribe to. I spent 8.75 BD on new foundation. One of my no buyer rules was that I would only buy a new product once I had used up all the other products I had of that type. And I did have some foundations left in my collection, but they were just way too dark. I spent 7.88 BD on a new shampoo bar from Lush. I spent 6 BD on car rental to take to Sofitel. I took 5 BD out of my monthly budget this month for rent, which is something I usually don't do. Usually I take my rent out separately and keep it completely separate from my budget, but I guess this month I was 5 BD short. I don't know why I did that. I donated the equivalent of 5 BD to Blonde Elle. I'll link her YouTube channel down below. She shaved her hair off to raise money for a cancer charity, and I just think that is so brave, and I really wanted to get behind her with that, so I donated some money to that. And I also spent 2 BD renting a movie on YouTube. So the grand total came to 246 BD, 730 fills. So not a great month in terms of spending, because my goal throughout this no buyer is really to reduce down the amount that I'm spending day to day and have a chunk of money left over for my budget at the end of each month. Clearly did not work out so well this month, but now I'm going to talk about how much money I've saved over the course of the last 6 months by implementing this no buyer. Over the course of the last 6 months, I have saved 358 BD, which is approximately £760. So that's quite a lot of money. One of the things that really annoys me about not all, but a lot of YouTubers who talk about how much money they save, and they have these kind of clickbaity titles like how I saved $30,000 in a year. You don't know how much money those people are making. So if they're making $100,000, then saving $30,000 actually isn't that much to celebrate. So I wanted to share my saving success with you in a way that would be very transparent and that would be very clear to you. I've talked about how I manage my money and how I budget in the past. I've got a whole video on it. I'll link it down below. But I take my savings out at the start of the month. So this money that I have saved, this 358 BD, is additional savings that came about purely because of the no buyer. So it doesn't count my regular savings, it doesn't count the way that I manage my entire salary. This is just taking into account how the no buyer has enabled me to save more compared to what I would save if I was still buying the way I used to. I hope that makes sense, because I'm trying to make it make sense. So I'm really pleased with that. I think that's a decent amount of money. and also I've been bringing less junk into my life, and that's really the main aim of this whole experiment for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up now because I need to go and take another antihistamine before my nose falls off. If you guys have enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, if you like No Buy Your videos, give this a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to go ahead and join our No Buy Your Facebook group. I'll link it down below. Go ahead and let me know in the comments how your No Buy Your is going. Was June a success or a struggle? Mine was definitely a struggle. And until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much. Remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay positive, and I will see you all next time.